for the last couple of months. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend the last two for different reasons, so this is my first time seeing one of these fun shows that Mrs. Brom has graciously put together for us. So thank you, Mrs. Brom, for all the hard work that you put into this today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please remember your audience manners. We sit nicely, we clap when we know it's appropriate. If you're not sure when to clap, look at your teachers. They'll let you know because they know when to clap and when not to clap. So if you're not sure, just turn to your teachers and they'll help you to understand what to do. You do not call out and you do not show any kind of disrespect. We already know this, I'm just reminding you. So this particular game is called Minute to Win It. So I'm not 100% certain what Mrs. Brom has decided to do either. So it should be very interesting and quite exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, Minute to Win It.
This is our third Berea Fun Day. I am so excited for these. Are you guys enjoying them? Awesome, because you know the whole point of us having these Berea Fun Days is that we can come together as a school and take a break from all of the school stuff and just have fun and laugh. And usually it's at the teacher's expense, but this time it's also going to be with our fifth graders again. So first of all, let me just backtrack and let's talk about Minute to Win It and what that means. Now, before you all were born, there was a really popular game show on TV called Minute to Win It. Now, some of you might already be aware of it, but they're all challenges. So it's not trivia, it's not questions. These are like little games, and for those second, third, fourth, fifth graders who have art parties with me, you're going to see some very familiar games because this is where I get all my ideas. So we're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to be laughing, but as Mr. Salamando said, we want to make sure that we stay in our spots, and if anything falls or rolls off the stage, especially my little friends here in the front, please do not leap out to be helpful. I know you're just trying to be helpful, but I want you to stay right where you are because I've already got helpers on stage. Now, before I call in my very eager and excited teams, I do want to take a moment to thank a few people who really helped me, and I couldn't do this day without them. And first and foremost, that's Mrs. Lazenton and Mr. Marr, who helped me with all the technology. So thank you to them. I have my student teacher, Ms. Herman, who is reporting for me today and taking pictures. To thank my fifth grade helpers. I have Nadia McHolder Tejada with scorekeeper. I have my two Caitlins, Caitlin Quinn and Caitlin Romalia as my helpers. All right, I have a couple other kids who are helping, but I can't mention them yet, so I'll make sure I'll give them a shout out at the end. But now I think it's time to call in my teams. You guys want to meet who our teams are? So brace yourselves. All right. So I am going to call in Team 1. Let's get some music going for them. Let's get them pumped up. This is Mrs. Staraska and Liana Costa. Team 2. Let me get their song here because it's a very special song. Hold on, we gotta give them a minute. This is Team 2, Mrs. Luciano and Thomas Oscavage. Did I get that right? Oscavage. Come on, Thomas. Cook and Anthony DiStefano. Okay, Team 5, this is a special team here. It's a mother-daughter duo, Mrs. Smith and Sophia Smith. All right, and lastly, Team 6, another mother-daughter team. It's Mrs. Horton and Lily Horton. Teams, oh no, oh my goodness, wow, I'm glad I'm just the host. Okay, so, boys and girls, teachers, you're gonna brace yourself because this is unlike any game show that we've had so far. The past few game shows is all about what you got up here, but today it's all about physical challenges. So each team is going to get called up to do 2 different challenges, and they have to decide which of the teammates are going to do which challenge. Now there's a few challenges that will require both of the teams to come up and play, but typically it's just going to be one, but each team will get 2 chances, so everybody will get a turn doing something fun. All right, so Mrs. Lazenton, let's pull up the first slide that shows who's going on which challenge. So, Team 1, you're going to be up first, and you are going to challenge Team 3, and then we'll have Team 2 versus Team 4. For challenge number 3, we'll do Team 5 and Team 6, so both mother-daughter teams are going to be versing each other. And then we'll go Team 3 and Team 5 up against each other for challenge number 4. Challenge number 5 will be Team 1 versus Team 4, and then again for challenge 6 we'll have Team 2 versus Team 6. Now you don't have to know any of that. I'm not going to be quizzing you. I just want to show you how it's all broken down. All right, next slide, Mrs. Lazenton. All right, so Team 1 is Mrs. Daraska and Leanna versus Mrs. Abruscato and Josh. Okay, so I think it gets this is a new mic that we've got, so I think the closer I get to the speakers, that's when it gets a little hairy. So I'm going to have my 2 teams come on up, and actually, you know what, stay seated because you're going to watch a quick video for all of us to see. So you're going to see the challenges, okay? All right, we are good to go.
Chopstick. In this challenge, using the Chinese takeout may finally pay off. The contestant will use chopsticks and exceptional hand-eye coordination as he attempts to transfer its stack. One slip of the stick will cause the entire stack to tumble. Failure to complete this task in 60 seconds may result in elimination.
Okay, so I'm not sure how easy that was to hear, but I hope you could see. So what my 2 teams are going to do is stack chopsticks with chopsticks. And they're only allowed to use chopsticks. They can't use their hands, and they have to create a tower of them. And whichever team has as many chopsticks as possible in 60 seconds will be the winner. Okay, so we're gonna start the clock. So my 2 teams, come on up, or actually you're gonna decide, remember who's going to do which challenge. So Team 1, who are we going with? So Leanna's gonna do it? Okay, so Mrs. Daraska's just there for support. She can cheer on. Team 3, who's gonna go, Josh or Mrs. Abruscato? Okay, so Josh, you're gonna team her on, or cheer her on, okay? And we're gonna cheer everybody on. Okay, Mrs. Lazenton, the next slide should be the clock. All right, I'm ready. Are the teams ready? Sebastian. I think we're ready. All right. There you go.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, wow, that was nerve-wracking. But guess what? Leanna is going to take home that point because she has one chapstick standing. Good job, Team 3. That was super, super stressful watching that. Oh my goodness, but I hope that was fun. Okay, we're moving on now.
The next one here. Okay, so girls, if my two Caitlyns, if you can clear that up. All right, so this next challenge is going to be very, very familiar to my older kids because you've done this with one of my art parties, except you did it with markers. So just remember, we're going to watch a video in a second. So you all have had this opportunity, but I made it a little harder, and we're going to switch it out with pencils. So Mrs. Lassington, can you run the next challenge?
In this challenge, the contestant must flip 2 pencils from the back of their hand inside their own hand. This must be repeated 6 times, adding 2 pencils with each attempt until they hit on the edge of the center door. When the tossers will raise their hopes in the wind with $1 million. They need to complete this task in 60 seconds and may result in
Okay, so once again, my two teams, I need you to pick one player. Okay, now my Caitlyns, come on up, Caitlyns, because you're going to help them out. Caitlin, I'm going to give you a stack. Caitlin, I'm going to give you a stack. So who's playing are the 2 boys? So Thomas and Anthony. Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They are bringing it. Okay, so Caitlyns, just stand off to the side so that everybody can see them, okay? So we're going to do a little improvise. We're going to start off with 1 first, okay? Instead of 2, we'll start off with 1 as a little warm-up. Mrs. Lassington's going to start the clock. You're going to start off with 1 pencil. If you get 1, then the girls will hand you each another pencil, and you're just going to keep moving. If you get 2, then they'll give you a 3rd. But if you drop any at any point in time, you don't get another pencil until you manage to catch all of them. So if you have 3 pencils, you can't get a 4th until you manage to catch all 3. Make sense? Okay, now, whichever of my 2 gentlemen here have pencils in their hand when that timer is over, will take home the point, okay? All right, Mrs. Lassington, I think we're ready.
the game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Where did we leave off? How many did we end up having? 5? Oh, okay, so Anthony had 5, Thomas had 4. All right, it looks like Anthony's winning one more time. Okay, now my next teams. Let me get that up here. All right, my next mother-daughter teams. Come on up. So it's the Hortons versus the Smiths. All right. All right. So Smiths will leave you all with the pinks. Okay, and these are going to be for you. Okay, Mrs. Lazenton, go ahead and roll the next challenge.
In this challenge, the contestants will play as a team. How can 2 people pick up a soda can without touching it with their hands or body? By using their noodle, of course. The contestants must pass a piece of pasta through the taps of soda cans in order to transfer them from one table to another and build a can pyramid. Failure to complete this task in 60 seconds may result in elimination.
Okay, so this one, now you know why I chose the mother-daughter combos for this one. So ladies, I'm going to give you your spaghetti sticks. You're going to be working as a team. So we're going to let this team go first, and then we'll give, this way they have the whole table space, and then we'll let the Hortons go next. So their job is to get these 3 cans over to that side of the table with just spaghetti. Okay? So you know what? Yes, we're gonna stick to the rules and we're gonna stack them, but it's just 2 on or 1 on top of 2. So that's not a big pyramid, okay? So I'm going to put a couple of pieces down and I'll let you guys put them in your mouths and as you will, okay? All right, Mrs. Lazenton, I think we're ready for our 30 seconds. Smiths, are you ready?
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Fettuccine, not spaghetti. All right, so we're gonna run the timer one more time, and we're gonna give the Hortons a chance, and we're gonna see if they can get at least one can moved over and stacked. All right, are you girls ready? Okay, here you go.
In 3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next slide, Mrs. Lassington. All right, so this next one is going to be Team 3, which is Josh and Mrs. Abrascato versus Mrs. Smith and Sophia, which is Team 5. So, and Caitlin's, I'm going to have you set up the water bottles like we talked about, okay? And Mrs. Lassington, you can run the next video, the next challenge, for challenge number 4. Caitlin, just scoot down.
In this challenge, 8 unopened bottles are placed in parallel rows, 8 feet apart. The contestant must wear a standard pair of pantyhose over the head, with a baseball placed inside the end of one leg, keeping one foot on each side of a center line. The contestant must swing their trunk back and forth using its momentum to knock down all 8 bottles. Failure to complete this task in 60 seconds will result in elimination.
Okay, Caitlin, can you hand me the tennis ball thing? Yep, that's it. Thank you. All right, so teams, who's playing? Josh, are you taking this one? And Sophia, okay. So I'm gonna set the mic down so I can, and maybe teammates, can you help me? Josh, you're gonna take your hat off. You gotta put your elephant trunk on. This is gonna go right on your head. All right, Sophia. They have to be more. All right. We have our trunks on. All right, so Sophia, these are your water bottles. Okay, and Josh, those are all yours. You should have 10 each. Okay, do we have 10 each, girls? Caitlin's? Caitlin R? Caitlin R? We have 10 of them over here? We have 10 over here? Okay, I'm gonna trust you. All right, so when Mrs. Lassington hits the timer, you can go in any direction you want. You just wanna knock them over. So if you knock them this way, that way, it doesn't matter. And remember, kindergartners, if a water bottle should roll off, please do not jump out of your spot to come get it, okay? Just leave it. All right, Mrs. Lassington, and let me just make sure my players are ready. Are you guys ready, Sophia, Josh? All right. Josh, that was an amazing effort, way better than I could have ever done. However, Sophia's taking on the point because there's only one bottle up, so she got 9 out of 10. So Sophia won the point for her team, so good job. Let's hear it for the 5th graders. Okay, now the next one, our next challenge. And if you can move on to the next slide. Oh, losing earrings here. All right, our next challenge requires Mrs. Staraska and Mrs. Cook. Looks like they're switching. All right. Let's see. Caitlin's, I need those 3 buckets set up on the tape. Caitlin's, 3 buckets on the tape. Where'd Caitlin? Oh, there you go. Just like the water, you're going to separate them like you did in the water, okay? And then we'll grab the bag as well. Okay, Mrs. Lassington, we're ready for the next clip.
elimination.
Okay, so this one we just played not that long ago, and it's not as easy as what it looks. So I will kind of go over the details again. So Caitlin, these three. You can just drop the stop there. Okay, so each team has 3 buckets. So Mrs. Juraska's got the green buckets, Mrs. Cook's got the blue buckets. Now this one will require actually both of the teammates to come up and play. So for those of you who may have missed this as part of my last art party, you're going to stand, actually in a few minutes I'm going to have you, all of you stand in front of the buckets, on either end of the bucket. So we're going to just move. Yeah, we'll move them over. Yeah, we'll move it. So Caitlin, just scooch them over this way. Okay, so the secret trick is to keep the ropes seriously taut, nice and tight. So remember, you're pulling away from each other, and the idea is to roll the ball, okay, and try and get each ball into a bucket. Now again, if a ball falls off, kindergartners, we're not going to go chasing it, and my helpers are going to stay on stage, and I'll come down and grab a ball if it falls. So the idea is to release whenever you want. Okay, you guys remember this, Anthony? All right, so remember, Mrs. Cook's never done this before, okay? All right, so when you want to release the ball over the bucket, you just pull the ropes apart from each other, okay? And you have to get 3, and each bucket has to have its own ball, so you can't get 2 in one ball in one bucket. You have to one at a time, okay? And I'll let you decide. There's no order whatsoever. Okay, Mrs. Lasington.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
It's so fun. All right, hold on, Caitlin, hold on. So, Caitlin R. Caitlin Romalia. They got 2? Yes, okay. So, Mrs. Juraska and Leanna, you guys are taking home the point on this one. You guys got 2 balls in the buckets. Great job. Woo, that was pressure. Okay, Mrs. Lasington. What's our next challenge? Oh, it's Team 2, Mrs. Luciano and Thomas versus Mrs. Horton and Lily. And this is the one I've been waiting for since we started. All right, Mrs. Lasington, go ahead and roll the video.
This challenge begins with 8 balls loaded inside of an empty tissue box, attached to the waist directly above the empty annexes. By gently shaking the empty, and these actuators, the contestant can escape a closed exit box. Failure to complete this task in 60 seconds may result in elimination.
Okay, I hope your booty maximuses are ready for this one. Oh, Mrs. Luciano! Okay, I'm going to set the mic down. I'm going to help you. All right, I'm ready. Hold on.
looks like we have a tie. We're going to end it with this because I am so proud of all 6 teams. It doesn't matter if you got the point. I hope you all had fun. Did you guys have fun?